Welcome back, everybody. I am Jake from Ohio State. I grew up on a farm, and today we are going to look at a steel wheel piercer. This piercer came to me by way of some generosity in the community yet again, which I absolutely love. I say it multiple times, but we all just want to, help each other out, and I think that's super cool. But JT's Knife Life, got this back in his GAC-TAC stuff, the Give a Knife, Take a Knife, which I think is such a cool program. But he got it back, wasn't real excited about it overall. And I had made a comment that I really liked it and wanted to eventually get it. Well, we messaged back and forth, and then this shows up in my house. So there you go. I think it's really cool of him. So thank you, JT, buddy. I appreciate it. Get some specs out of the way so don't forget those. We got 7.6 overall, which you guys know that leads to really good ergos for the old Gorilla Paws here. I think it lays nicely in my hand. The handle slims down. I got that great big front choil, almost a guard basically, that you can lock right into, but then this just allows your hand to lay right wherever it wants to. So I think that's great, even just a little bit sticking out down there. So lengthwise, really good. Most, as you can see, is a nice slender handle, and then this big chunky blade up here. The blade of D2 steel, handle G10, and inside of there, to keep the weight down, they just have liners on the one side, just for the lock side of it. There is no liner on the front side, so that's cool. They do make a frame lock version of this as well, I believe. Actually, I know they do, yeah. So the frame lock, obviously quite a bit heavier. They keep the weight down on this one to just below 4 ounces, which I think is cool for 7.5 inches basically of knife, and you're at 3.94. So another, I guess, stat is the cost of this thing. And this is maybe where the controversy comes up, and I'll just kind of roll over them talking about this. $68 for this guy. And I'll lay some other comparisons out, but I kind of keep that in mind with Steel Wheel. I still do claim that they are my favorite production knife company. Overall designs, I just really look for them. But $68, they've been kind of creeping up with their prices lately. And I'll throw a few of them up here that were recent ones as well, where, the same materials, the D2, G10 of, maybe last year, 2 years ago, where these were $55 knives. Now they're pulling them in, 70s, $80 for the same thing. So I don't know. I mean, that's just a market trend, right? You become more popular, you can charge a little more. I mean, every company eventually does that, but, so hopefully they'll kind of figure out, I don't want them to price themselves out of the market because I do like them that much, but so we'll see. So the overall aesthetics of it, I absolutely love when it's closed, nice clean lines. Yeah, you sort of get that, the same thing, the old Kaiser blade, sling blade, that underbite there. But I think that's okay. If otherwise they'd had to roll this blade clear out to here, maybe that would have looked all right. But it is really clean looking without the flipper tab. I am kind of getting into that sort of trend, I guess. Some form of basically a tenacious, some where it's just kind of slender, it's slick, there's nothing on the back here to deal with, and you can just roll it out nicely. As I said before, I go to a lot of school systems for my job, and I just don't want to have a very aggressive knife for that, and a lot of businesses in general. I gotta cut boxes while I'm in there, so just having something that I can just do a nice slow roll, cut the tape that I need to, boxes, whatever, then it's good. You still can flick this, and I'll try it on camera. It's a little harder. As you can see, that thumb slot in there, you kind of have to get the right bite in order to get in there. And I mean, you almost have to turn your hand to get your thumb in there. Now, if you want to do a little wrist flick, sure, you can just kind of bite into it and, kind of do one of those. But if you're just trying to do it, again, I'll try it on camera here. If you're just trying to do it with just your thumb, there you go. You got to give a little bit of a motion, but it is a little awkward to do that. I'll say that. And JT pointed that out as well, that it's a little hard to do that. Aesthetics wise, again, though, going back to that, I think it's super clean looking. And when it's open, the same thing. I think it gives really clean lines. And again, you guys know it's something I look for. So, you know, keeping with the design though, I can say I'm going to have two gripes with this thing, and it's not something that where I think, oh man, I don't really need it. I wouldn't want. I love that I have this knife and I've carried it, and it's a terrific knife. Okay, but I don't get two things on it, and one is this right here. Now I have a theory on it, but this doesn't make sense where we have a slant and then there's just random notch out right there. You know, when the knife is open, it is completely far enough away from that choil. You know, as you can see, it was following this grind line nicely. You know, you got this beautiful grind, nice flat grind on there, and it follows that, and then suddenly it just dips back. You know, now my only thought was, and I ended up doing this by accident, where I kind of pinch gripped it, you know, and so I thought, oh well, for food prep that does make a little sense. So I'm gonna go with that it's a bit of a pinch grip. But in all reality, if this had just kind of came up and rolled over, I think that would look a little better. Again, not enough to make me not like the knife, but it's just a little weird that it's not, you know, it's not even like the top to a shield where this is rounded and this is rounded. It's sort of just an idea. Now, my bigger gripe, as I flipped it over, you can see that this really terrific deep carry clip. Great. It's reversible. Awesome. It doesn't fit this big chunky knife. You know, you got this big worker knife, and then you have this pen clip hanging off of here. I mean, that's what it reminds me of, you know, this sort of a thinner pen clip, you know. It was, again, JT mentioned too, where he felt like this was a drawing that just wasn't quite finished. And I think this was sort of a drawing that didn't have a pocket clip, and they said, wait a minute, let's put a pocket clip on it. And they had one of these laying around. I don't know. It works perfectly fine. It goes in and out of your pocket. The retention on it's nice. The G10 has good enough texturing where it slides in and out, even dress pants that I have to wear. And for jeans, it works perfectly fine. But I would have really rather, you know, let's bring out the Sargus here, one of my favorite ones. That would have worked quite nice. That's their standard clip, and I think that would have looked really cool, to be honest, you know. But again, that's just a design, personal design pick apart. But you know, it works fine. But it's funny that it's so slim and long and kind of the hour shape. So you guys make the decision though. Is it worth it? Is it something that, is it just me? I don't know, maybe. But let's do some size comparisons, and we'll kind of finish up this video. My overall opinion of this, it's really cool. I absolutely like it. Again, I'll throw out a Tenacious because I tend to just sort of gravitate towards that anymore. Some form of where I can just slow roll it. It's a bigger blade. It's kind of a chunkier thing for, you know, the big gorilla paws. So that's a good comparison of that. I'll bring that Sargus back out because yet again, that's one of my favorite ones as well. So there's the Sargus on it, and then it's just a little bit bigger, but curve, you know, the nice palm curve to it, which I love. Bigger blades off of them. What else can we put out here? I'll bring out a Rat 1 just because it's one of the best things to compare it to, because everybody's got a Rat 1. There's the Rat 1, and sure, let's put it in between a Rat 2. There you go. All right, guys, that's about it for this Steel Piercer. Thanks again to JT for sending this thing over. I really do love this knife. A little gripe on the price, and let me guys know what you think of that. What did I just say? Let me know what you guys think of that. There you go. That sounds a little better. I haven't had my coffee yet. You know what I'm saying? All right, guys. Thanks again for the support. I've had a lot of recent connections, and I think that's super cool. So let's keep going. You know, today's a good day. Any day should be a good day. So let's just do it. Go out, promote some positivity, and you know, have a laugh with somebody. All right, take care.